2026 winter trip to Florida is the 5th year in a row for Sue and me. We visited mostly familiar and favorite state parks. Our stop at Silver Springs is the first in a few years, followed by our favorite Gulf Coast destination, Scherer State Park in the Sarasota area. We then crossed the state to the Atlantic Ocean to another favorite, Sebastian Inlet State Park. From there, we traveled north up the coast to Anastasia State Park near St. Augustine. Then a first-time visit to the Little Talbot Island State Park, followed by our final stop at Fort Clinch State Park. This video, Episode 3, provides the highlights of our visit to the Little Talbot State Park and Fort Clinch near Fernandina Beach. We left Anastasia State Park for a short drive to stay a couple nights at Little Talbot Island State Park, where we also explored Big Talbot Island and the Boneyard Beach, then continued on to Fort Clinch State Park for 6 nights. Little Talbot Island State Park is one of the few remaining undeveloped barrier islands in northeast Florida, offering a quiet, natural escape along the Atlantic coast. Spanning roughly 25 acres, the park features 5 miles of pristine beaches, rolling sand dunes, maritime forests, and salt marshes that support a wide variety of wildlife. Visiting for the first time, Sue and I quickly appreciated its quiet, unspoiled charm. The campground is small and tucked away, offering a peaceful retreat where we enjoyed walking the nature trail beneath a canopy of coastal forest and ending our day watching the sunset over Simpson Creek and a marsh area. We're at Little Talbot Island State Park, just east of Jacksonville. There are 21 campsites here in total. Most of them are tent sites. There are 4 sites that our RV fits in, and we managed to get one of them. Campsites 1 through 11, we do not fit in any of those down there. We're actually in site 14. Let's walk around to it. There we are. Walk back to these campsites that are back in here. Which was the site next to us, we'd fit in, and this is site 16, the third of 4 that we would fit in. We'll keep walking on down here. And this site that's tucked in also amongst even more live oak trees is site 21. Again, this is the 4th site that we would fit in. Very secluded. And there's a canoe launch back in here, and quite a few winding streams around the marsh area to enjoy a kayak ride. Okay, I think that's probably the most mossy live oak I've ever seen. Where's Mommy? Where's Mommy? You want to go back to her? From Little Talbot Island, a short drive brought us to Big Talbot Island State Park, where we explored the scenic boardwalk at Spoonbill Pond, and then a hike to the unique and striking Boneyard Beach, where weathered driftwood and fallen oaks scattered the shoreline, creating a rugged and unforgettable coastal landscape. Together, these two stops made for a relaxing and memorable introduction to this beautiful stretch of Florida's natural coastline. Where's Mommy? Where's Mommy? There she is. There she is. is. All these trees, driftwood, have beached up here on the Boneyard Beach. After 2 nights at Little Talbot Island State Park, we headed north along scenic Florida State Route A1A for a short but beautiful 17-mile drive hugging the Atlantic coastline. It wasn't long before we reached our final stop, 6 nights at Fort Clinch State Park near Fernandina Beach. Fort Clinch State Park is a beautifully preserved coastal park at the northern tip of Amelia Island, known for its historic 19th century fort, scenic maritime forests, and wide, quiet beaches. This is our 4th time at Fort Clinch. For more in-depth information about Fort Clinch State Park and the Ohio-class submarines that are often seen here, we've added a link in the description of this video to episode 6 from our Florida 2024 trip. For 2026, we stayed at the Amelia River Campground in Fort Clinch State Park. We enjoyed hiking the Willow Pond Nature Trail for the first time and made a stop at the Atlantic Ocean Campground for a relaxing walk along the beautiful shell-strewn beach. Of course, Willow was not allowed on the beach. Each morning, Willow and I took a peaceful walk along the river trail over to Fort Clinch, and in the evenings we wandered out to the Amelia River from our campsite to take in the sunsets, something we've come to enjoy time and time again over the years. This is a trail Cassie was never on. Willow, you're going someplace new. And on the Willow Trail, it's got to go on the Willow Trail. Come on. It is swampy. Okay, she's coming. Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Look at Mommy. It's about 60 here today, and gale force winds are forecasted. Cold is moving in. High tomorrow is 48. It's our last day down here in Florida. We head home. Tomorrow's Monday, the 23rd of February. We're heading home on Tuesday. We made a quick stop at the beach campground here at Fort Clinch. We actually were in this site here a couple years ago. We only spent a few days over on the beach side. We prefer the riverside, but this is pretty sweet. We hit low tide here, so the waves aren't as crazy as they could have been. Hi, Willow. for Willow. Basically goes over to the fort. Hike on through here. Willow's leading the way. Oh, a squirrel. You see the squirrel? Bench. Come on. So the river trail from the campground leads out this boardwalk, the north side of the fort, coming out onto this boardwalk. And right over there is the fort. Walking out to the Amelia River. As our 2026 journey to Florida ends, we're left with so many great memories, from the crystal clear springs of Scherer State Park to the peaceful trails and wildlife in the Sarasota area and the coastal beauty and sunsets of Sebastian Inlet. Sue captured some great pictures of nesting shorebirds at the alligator farm near Anastasia State Park. We also discovered the quiet, unspoiled charm of little Talbot Island State Park, and wrapped it all up with more trails and sunsets at Fort Clinch State Park. Each stop offered an escape from the Ohio winter and something unique. Together they made for a memorable journey through some of Florida's most beautiful and diverse state parks. As we finish up this video, we are preparing to leave for our next adventure, heading west from Ohio to Colorado and Utah for almost 2 months, where we'll be visiting 9 national parks and 1 national monument. During this incredible journey, we are especially looking forward to mixing in some off-roading adventures in the Jeep, exploring some of the most remote and rugged landscapes these incredible places have to offer. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel to be notified of the videos from this upcoming trip. And as we say goodbye, we'll leave you with this final video from our last stop on our journey home at the Corbin, Kentucky KOA. What's going on, girl? What is going on out there? Crows everywhere.